Trevor Milton, one of the biggest scam artists in the entire business world. So if you don't know, this is the guy, Trevor Milton. He is the former CEO of Nikola Motors. I've talked about them in the past, and his trial recently started today for fraud. So he is being tried. Milton is facing 2 counts of securities fraud and 2 counts of wire fraud. So this trial started this week. If you don't know the whole story behind it, Nikola, or Trevor Milton and Nikola said that they had some amazing company, or they had this amazing company, amazing products were coming to come out, and it turns out a lot of that was false. So let's cover this again. So Nikola, when it IPO'd in 2020, a lot of people wanted to get involved in this company because they saw it as sort of the second coming of Tesla. If you don't know, Tesla's stock has massively increased over the past few years, and people thought that's what was going to happen with Nikola. And it did initially. When it first IPO'd, it went up massively. However, there later came out evidence that they were actually defrauding people and lying about a lot of what actually happened. And I was actually one of the first people to cover this on YouTube in 2020. Nikola, the biggest scam ever. I broke it down and showed that they actually lied. I posted a video, which I'll show you in a bit. I posted a video where they showed their vehicle, their big semi-truck, driving down the road and how they had an operational vehicle. And what turns out is it wasn't actually operational. They actually just rolled it down a hill. And I showed that in this video right here. Now, what ended up happening, Nikola actually issued copyright strikes on pretty much everyone who on YouTube who posted links to that video, or who posted that video in their video. So I actually got a cease and desist, and I actually had my video taken down. I got a copyright strike, and many other people on YouTube in 2020, September 2020, got their video struck down because Nikola was on damage control. They wanted this completely off the internet. Now, a couple weeks later, after the story broke that Nikola was going, full fire and trying to take everything down, they ended up removing the strike on all these people because it came to light that obviously this was true. They were actually misrepresenting their vehicle. So they removed all the strikes. But yeah, they were on a warpath to try and cover up this story. So I'll actually show you, this is the clip that I showed in my video from September 22nd of 2020. And this is their Nikola Semi truck that is supposedly driving itself down the road. But in reality, what was really happening is they took a tow truck, took this vehicle up to the top of a hill, and then let it just roll down the hill by itself. So let's take a look at it. So this is the vehicle, and as you can see, they're representing it as it's driving itself down the road in the vehicle, but we now know that's not the case. It's literally just rolling down the hill, right? And it doesn't actually have its own engine at this point. This was not a functional vehicle. Now, this guy, Trevor Milton, the CEO, is in massive trouble, right? Because we know in the actual presentation he did for the video, he actually talks and says that this is a fully operational vehicle when we now know it was not. So let's take a look at this clip as well.
Tonight, you'll see it up on the screens. They're fully functioning screens. Really incredible. We will have a chain on the seats to prevent people from coming in just for the safety. I don't want someone to end up doing something and driving this truck off the stage.
All right, so they actually brought one of their semis to an event and showed it off, and people were able to get inside. And he made a claim like, oh, we're going to put a chain on it so you can't drive it away. We don't want people to steal our vehicle. When in reality, we know that would have been completely impossible because this vehicle was not operational. Now, another thing to mention is one thing that they talked about was the Nikola Badger, right? This was their truck. It was for consumers. And what we found out was this vehicle was created, it was a concept. Like, they didn't even actually have a full vehicle of this when they talked about it. But this was a concept that they created specifically. This is the only reason they created this. They created this specifically to get people in Robinhood to invest in their company. That is the dumbest thing I have ever heard. Most companies create a product because they know it's a product that people want or people want to use or buy or whatever. Nikola created a product just to get people to invest in their company so their stock price could go up, so, Trevor and his friends could be richer, right? Now, if you actually come to the Nikola website, right, you scroll down, you'll see that they only talk about their semi-trucks at this point. Nowhere on their main page do they ever talk about the Nikola Badger anymore. Because, this was purely made by Trevor to try and get a bunch of money to try and make the stock price go way up. So he actually talks about it. He confirms what I just said, that he created, or his company created, the Badger specifically to get people in Robinhood to invest in their company.
My question was, okay, that's great, but I'll never touch the average consumer. So therefore 90% of investors will probably never invest in me. So I needed to touch the consumer. And so the truck is for the profit, the semi truck, the pickup truck's for the consumer. And the consumer is the one who is part of the Robinhood portfolio, is part of the the family office or whatever. And that's where all the valuation of the company comes from. Because they touch your product.
Are you saying you're going to do it profitably, or that it's a loss?
All right, so he's just doing that to increase the profit of the company. Not because that's what their main focus in, not because that's what they know they should create. It's because we want to increase the profit of the company, so we'll create this product that was just an idea at that point. They just had some concept art and try and get people involved in that. Now, like I mentioned, Milton is facing 2 counts of securities fraud and wire fraud around this, and it really is just an abysmal downfall of this company that people really, like I said, saw as a second coming of Tesla. I know Meet Kevin, a lot of guys, a lot of the big stock pumpers, stock fluffers on YouTube were heavily promoting this stock before all the evidence came out that they were just like a massive fraud company. Now, like I said, the company is still around. They're still listed on the actual stock market, which is amazing to me because there are companies that have done far less and have been delisted from the actual stock market. So it's amazing to me that this company is still on the stock market. They're still trying to produce their hydrogen-powered semi-trucks. I don't think they have any operational at this point still to this day, but they are still attempting to do that. Now, Milton is no longer the CEO. He's being sued. And honestly, I think he's going to go to jail for a long time. I think the max he can go to jail for is 25 years. Probably won't get the max because he is quite rich. But he is going to go away probably for a long time, just like the Theranos CEO, just like she did. She's in big trouble as well. Now, since all this came out, even more allegations have come out, and sexual misconduct allegations have come out against Trevor Milton as well. So I do think this guy is in very big trouble. I think he's going to go to jail for a long time. But I'd love to hear your opinions below. What do you think about Trevor Milton? What do you think about the whole story with Nikola? Do you think the company Nikola, do you think they will actually survive and just Trevor Milton will go down? Or do you think eventually Nikola will go under as well because of all the bad press that happened because of their founder when they started up?